Hi everyone, my name is Mary Emfinger. I am from the East Communities YMCA. We're going to be doing a Yin Yoga class today. So nice long holds, super relaxing. So go ahead, take a moment, set up your space, maybe dim your lights, put on some smooth jams, grab some props. You might want a couple throw pillows or something just for some extra cush in some of the shapes. And with that, we will get started right away. It'll be about 45 minutes today. So go ahead and find your way onto your back. We're going to start in Supta, Bada, Kanasana. So once you bring yourself all the way onto your back, bring your feet together to touch and open your knees wide apart. If there's a lot of pulling here on your hips, you just take some of those pillows and slip them right on under your legs. You can place your hands on your body or out next to your sides, and if you feel comfortable, begin to soften your eyes or close them completely. We'll settle in here for just a few minutes. Maybe you feel the ground coming up to support your body. And you trust the ground with all of your weight. And if there is a lot going on, maybe out in the world or in your life, let yourself just be with yourself for the next 45 minutes. And as your thoughts wander, that's okay. Acknowledge when that happens and bring them back to yourself. Just be. If at any time I am directing us to move out of a shape and you are not ready, stay where you are, You know what your body needs, so if that is staying in a shape for longer, then please, please do. If you are ready to move on to the next shape, bring your hands to the outsides of your thighs from wherever they are. Now use the strength of your hands and your arms as opposed to the muscles in your hips to bring your knees back together in your midline. Nice. Once there, pull your knees up into your chest, give them a nice little hug. Maybe rock from side to side. And roll over onto your right or your left side. Doesn't matter which one. And find a fetal shape. Let your head rest on your bottom arm. You can pull your knees up nice and high. You can even release your elbow or hand down to the ground in front of you. When you are ready, begin to press yourself up. Moving through a seat, it's just a transition. You're going to come to a tabletop shape. So hands directly under your shoulders and knees directly under your hips. If you have bony knees, This would be a good time to grab a throw pillow or something, a little cushion for under your knees. Right away, step your right foot in between your hands. If you have to pick up your hand, do it. If you have to pick up your foot in your hand, do it. Doesn't matter how you get it there. Right foot is in between your hands. Tuck your left toes under, lift your left knee up off the ground, and wiggle your left foot back in space. Yeah, so you're in a lunge here, and the sensation is in the front of your left hip. That's your left hip flexor. You might choose to bring a little pillow or something under your left knee, release your knee down to the ground, untuck your toes. Here you are in your dragon lunge. We're gonna stay here with the knee and foot in between the hands to start. If your hands don't reach the ground, that's okay. You can tent up onto your fingers, or if it's really not happening, you can hold your knee in your hands. Okay, so lots of options. And they are all just options. I promise not one is better than any other. So now that you've found your shape, bring your awareness back to this moment. Maybe bring your awareness to the front of your left hip or some other place in your body where you are experiencing sensation. Your right knee stays directly over your right ankle. So I told you it was a yin class, but I didn't say it was going to be easy, yeah? Sometimes there is a misunderstanding that yin is easy. We will be in these lunges for a little bit today. You got this, you're strong, right? If your hip flexor is talking to you, that is normal, yeah? It is not often we move hips in this way, okay? Every other thing you do in your life, mostly likely, walking, sitting, driving a car, riding a bike, you're flexing your hip in all of those movements. So now you're giving your body the opportunity to move the other way. That's why there can be a lot of feedback in this shape. I'll give you an option to distract yourself a little bit here. You have lymph nodes here under your right armpit. So place your armpit into your knee and let your elbow stick out to the side like a little chicken wing. Now, you're probably feeling it. If not, just give yourself a little bit more weight. And then move your elbow in circles. Oof, yeah, I found mine. Nice and slow, no rush. Your lymphatic system only pumps in one direction, so we're just getting things moving a little bit. Okay, reverse the circles. And let those stop. Place your hand back on the ground. Okay, we're gonna switch the spot of your right foot and your right hand. So pick your right hand up, bring it to the inside of your right foot. Heel toe your right foot over to the right, so much so that you can bring your right hand directly back under your right shoulder, yeah? Just where you were on that tabletop shape. Things might change here, yeah? We're still in the left hip, but what feels different? Depending on your body, you might choose to release down to your elbows, or if you have blocks at home, you can release onto your blocks. I'm gonna stay right here today. Allow your right knee to continue hugging in towards your right arm. Keep your right knee hugging into your right arm. That might be hard to do, and that's okay. Just encourage it in that direction. Next, we'll move into winged dragon. Totally optional here. If you're gonna do this, what I want you to think about the whole time is flexing your toes towards your knee. So right toes flex towards your right knee. They stay flexed. Do not lose this engagement in your right foot. Release your right knee out to the right side. See, my foot is still up off the ground. So I'm gonna show you for a second what not to do. Don't let the knife edge side of your right foot go onto the ground. Keep that engagement. Keep your right knee really safe. Now you can take your right hand to the inside of your right leg and twist open towards your right knee, towards the ceiling, okay? So now you're opening the front of your left hip at the same time as the back of your right hip. Not here for very long. Let's take 3 more deep breaths together. Full inhale. And let it go. Bring your right knee and right toes back to face forward before unflexing your foot. And right away, go ahead and heel toe your right foot into the middle of your mat and frame your foot with your hands. A little fluid movement here. Inhale. Exhale, half splits. Bring your hips back over your back knee. Right foot is just relaxed. Now we're going to move back and forth 2 more times. Inhale, forward bend, fret knee. Exhale, half splits, moving back. Last time, inhale forward. And exhale back to your half splits and hold. So take whatever adjustments you need here for your body. So hips are over your back knee. Right leg is generally straight, but if you have a tendency to lock out your knee, keep a gentle bend in your knee just to keep it safe. Now, the most important thing, release your forehead towards your knee. So rounded back is what we're going for here. So don't think about flexing your foot, pointing your foot, feeling the back of your leg. If you allow your forehead, crown of your head, really to release down, you're gonna bring that sensation there in a bit of a different way. The target area is not only the back of your right leg, but also the decompression of your entire spine. And you can see here, my knee is pretty bent, and that's okay. I'm still stretching my hamstring here. It's different than what you would do in a Yin Yoga class. Notice if your thoughts have wandered, and if they have, that's okay. Your brain is just doing its job, right? It's just thinking things, taking you on a journey, but now bring that journey back to the present moment. Be content to just be here. What are you feeling right now? You know, it's funny sometimes when I'm in my lunge, I'm like, ooh, I can't wait for half splits. Then I get to half splits and I'm like, let me lunge. Isn't that kind of an analogy for life? Okay, 2 more breaths right here. Full breath in. And let something go. Inhale, move forward, back into your lunge. Great. Hands planted firmly on the ground. You're going to release your right knee back. With your left, you are back in your tabletop. If there's something under your other knee, go ahead and remove it. Find your neutral tabletop. And take a little food movement here, yeah? So I like to just sway my hips gently from side to side. Some people prefer more of a cat-cow or circles. Do whatever would feel good to you. Okay, if you do something on one side, make sure you do it on the other side as well, just keeping things even. And we're going to move on to the other side. Step your left foot in between your hands. However you need to get it there, yeah? Take whatever props you need and move them up so that you can reach them. Tuck your right toes under, lift your right knee up off the ground, wiggle your right foot back so much so that you feel the sensation in the front of your right hip this time, yeah? If you're not feeling it, keep wiggling until you do. Keep wiggling until you do. That's a good cue. Okay, release your right knee down to the ground and untuck your toes. Here you are in your dragon pose, yeah? Hands can be on the ground, they can be up on props, or remember, they can always be on your knee as well. You just might feel a little bit more sensation in that hip. That's okay. This is all safe sensation, it's not bad. Once you find your spot, go ahead and settle into it. So sometimes the sensation in yin class can be compared with discomfort, yeah? And that is okay to feel uncomfortable, right? What you are doing with your body right now is a really safe way to open it up, to find space somewhere where there was not space before. So how can you decide that being uncomfortable is okay, right? Learning how to be comfortable in the discomfort, learning how to stay there, to live in it, to experience it. Your left knee this time is directly over your left ankle. If you find that your left knee is going super far forward, you might just need to scoot your right knee back in space. Same for the opposite, yeah, if your left knee is behind your left ankle, then you might just need to bring your right knee forward a little bit. And encourage both hips down towards the ground. So maybe now you're starting to experience some sensation in that right hip, right? We're not gonna leave it. You know what we're doing on this side, so let's just be okay with it. Let's get into the lymphatic system here under the left armpit. So place your left armpit into your knee. Give it some weight, however much you feel comfortable giving it. You have your elbow here out to the side. And then just begin making slow circles in one direction. Right, this lymphatic system, it only pumps one way. So we gotta help it sometimes so that stuff can move through and get out. Okay, begin to reverse the direction of those circles. This is where I can't help but make funny faces. Okay. And let those circles cease. Bring your left hand to the inside of your left foot. Heel toe your left foot over to the left side of your space. Bring your left hand directly under your left shoulder. Yeah, so hands are right under shoulders. This is your next shape. What has changed? For some people, it's like the knee just wants to go out to the side. Totally normal. Some people really want to release down to the ground, yeah? Keep that left knee hugged in. Option to bend your elbows, bringing them to the ground if that's for your body. If it's not, you might bring props under you and release down if you are kind of over being on your wrists. That's normal. And also if you're over being on your wrists on this side, option to turn over one of your hands, yeah? Just to kind of allow your wrist to move in a different direction. This is new on this side. Gotta keep you engaged. Same thing with those hips though, those hips are still your target area. If you did one hand, go ahead and switch to the other hand. So fingers now just face back towards you. The wrist moves towards the top edge of your mat. If you take Yang classes too, this can be a nice one to do in downward facing dog after like 5,000 chaturangas. Your wrists just need to move the other way for a second, you know? Okay. Turn your hands back over, both so they're down facing the ground. We're going to go into winged dragon, yeah? Flex your toes up towards your knee. Keep your toes flexed. Release your left knee out to the side. Keep your toes flexed. You can bring your hand to the inside of your left leg and rotate up towards the ceiling. You're not here long, 3 more breaths. Final inhale here. And let it go. Come back to neutral. Knee and toes come to face directly forward. Move your foot in between your hands right away so that it's framing. Your hands are framing your foot. A little fluid movement on the side. Inhale here. Exhale, half splits. Bring your hips back over your back, knee, front leg, kind of straightish, right? Moving back and forth. Inhaling forward. You can leave your hands in one place or you can move them, doesn't matter. Exhale back. Final time, inhale forward. Exhale back and stay in half Hanumanasana, half splits, yeah? Make any adjustments you need here. We're gonna be here for a little bit, yeah? So some people like to move their heel a little more forward. Some people it feels better to have it a little more out to the side, yeah? So it doesn't feel like you're on a tightrope balancing so much. No pointing or flexing of the feet. You can even kind of wiggle your foot a little bit or your leg a little bit to encourage some of that stuff to let go. Yeah, I'm holding on a lot. There we go. Hands to the ground, inhale. Exhale, round down. It's as if there is a drop of water on the top of your head and you can imagine it like almost pulling you a little bit more down to the ground. Remember to keep a gentle bend in the back of your left knee. As you round forward, you will still feel sensation in the back of your leg, most likely. If you don't, that's okay too. As you hold these shapes, can you keep your awareness in the present? Can you stay right here? Can you just be right where you are? There's no need to look back. There's no need to look forward. Contentment is found in the present, yeah? Let's take 2 more breaths right here. Let something go on each exhale. Full breath in. Let it go. Okay, inhale, begin to walk your hands back forward, framing your foot. And release your left knee back with your right knee. If you have something under your knees, go ahead and remove it. Any fluid movement that you want to take on this side, feel free. It could be the same or different from last side. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Sometimes it's just nice to be still and just feel whatever there is to feel, right? In that time where your body can receive feedback. Okay, moving into Tadpole now. It's different than Child's Pose, but it might look kind of like it from your vantage point. So big toes together to touch, knees out wide towards the very edges of your mat, okay? Then sit back over your heels. The reason we're starting this way is because booty on heels is where we want to stay. Now, round your forehead and chest down towards the ground. So we're really going for a lengthening from your tailbone to the crown of your head. Okay, you keep your head down towards the ground. I'm just turning so that I guess I can't even see you. That's a silly thing to say. So that you can hear me, okay? So your forehead is on the ground. If you have a tendency to reach forward, that's normal, right? You're used to Child's Pose. See if you can bend your elbows and bring your hands back towards your ankles, okay? And if you're feeling like the ground is too far away from you or your nose is smushing into the ground, grab some of those pillows and place them under your chest, okay? And this is your Tadpole. With every breath, can you allow your hips to sink a little farther down? Just like at the beginning of class, feel the ground coming up to support you so that you can give more of yourself to the ground. Your body is working all the time. It doesn't have to work to hold you here, right? You can just let it go. You are supported by whatever is under you. Begin to move out of this shape. Bring your hands just in front of your knees, yeah, kind of under your shoulders, and then press into your hand. You'll roll back up, sitting on your heels. Swing your legs around in front of you. I'm just gonna flip over. I guess you could flip over like a pancake as well. Coming to lay on your back. Maybe knees into your chest. Some egg beaters can feel kind of nice after a deep hip opener like Tadpole. So kind of just moving your knees in opposite directions if that would feel good to you. Okay, place both feet on the ground. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Okay, we do figure 4 a lot. I just want to make sure that we're setting it up really, really on point today. So you have this little bone on the outside of your ankle. That bone is what's actually on your quad, yeah? So foot is not on quad, foot is hanging off, ankle is on quad. This is already figure 4 shape in yin class. Your right knee moves away. You can stay right here. If you'd like to take a little bit more of an active shape, you're totally welcome to. You can grab behind your left thigh or in front of your left shin and continue to open your right knee away from you. Now, if you take the option where you grab your leg and your head or your booty has come off the ground, really let them sink down, okay? So your tailbone is on the ground, your sacrum is on the ground, and your head is also on the ground. If you feel like way up here, let your leg go. Just come back to the yin version of this shape. You're still getting opening in the figure 4 shape, okay? So whatever you choose doesn't matter, as long as your back is on the ground. And the people who choose to pull their leg in, right, they just have to do a little bit more work. So if you came to class to chill out, chill out. I'm all for it. Where are your thoughts? They went on an adventure, bring that adventure back to right now. Let right now just be good enough, yeah, wherever you are. Okay, we're going to take a twist in our figure 4 shape today just to stay with those hips we've been working on. If you'd prefer to take any other twist, you are more than welcome to. If you're staying with me, twist over to your left, okay? So knee stays up nice and high and the sole of your right foot comes to the ground here, okay? Allow your right shoulder to stay down on the ground and your right knee to open up towards the ceiling. Option to grab your left, to use your left hand to grab your right ankle. So the key here and experience that sensation in your right hip as you twist is right knee up towards the ceiling, which is a little different than your standard end of yoga twist, yeah? And so often you hear right shoulder down, which is super true. Please, right shoulder down. But another way to experience a little bit of a different sensation is to think about the back of your right rib cage releasing ever so gently towards the ground under you. It's not going to get there probably, unless you're maybe in Cirque du Soleil or something, but every time you exhale, maybe you just imagine, you know, those right ribs just getting a little bit heavier down towards the ground. If you keep coming to take my classes, you'll notice I'm all about efficiency, right? We don't have that much time in 45 minutes, so on hip day, we gotta do a hip twist. If you have your foot in your hand, go ahead and release it. Leave your ankle, your right ankle on your left knee. Just bring your legs back to your midline. Now uncross your ankle, pull your knees into your chest. You can rock from side to side just to establish equilibrium right in your spine before moving on to the other side. Okay, both feet come to the ground at about hip distance apart. Left ankle on your right knee this time, so your foot, remember, it's hanging off your knee, or your leg actually. Your left knee is moving out and away from you, yeah? So this is already the shape. You are already in a figure 4 shape. You could lift your foot up onto something so that you don't have to work as much. If you are a sensation junkie, I feel you, I'm there with you. You can pull your right leg in towards your chest. You can grab behind your right thigh or in front of your right shin. Yeah, whatever you choose. Lengthen your full spine down to the ground. So all the way from your tailbone to the very top of your back, and your head is also resting on the ground. If you haven't done so already and you feel comfortable doing so, soften your gaze. You can close your eyes entirely, yeah. Letting that sight go here, really sinking just into your own space. There's really nothing to see. Sounds counterintuitive, you're watching a video, but what you're doing is much more exciting than what I'm doing, yeah? You can feel what's happening in your own body. You are completely in this moment. We will now twist to the right. So you might release your leg back down to the ground if it was in your hands. Twist to your right, keep your right knee up nice and high. Left sole of your foot comes to the ground. So your left foot is planted on the ground. Option to grab your left foot or ankle in your hand. Now left shoulder stays down on the ground, okay? And once again, as you sink in here, maybe you imagine the back of your left ribs, okay? This part is, in most bodies, likely to be off the ground. That's very normal. Just imagine there's like something nice and warm and cozy, tempting it down towards the ground. Nice and heavy. And keep your left knee generally up towards the ceiling, yeah, so you can keep that sensation in the back of your left hip here. When the time is right for you, begin to make your way back to center. Leave your foot crossed on your ankle. your knees come back to your midline. Release both your feet down to the ground. You can pull them in, right, if you liked that nice hug. You can also windshield wiper them from side to side. And find stillness. We're going to set up a nice juicy Savasana, okay? So lots of options here. If you have any tenderness in the low back, maybe that twisting was a lot, and you decide to stay in a half Savasana here with knees bent, knocking in towards each other and feet out wide, okay? Otherwise, you can take something behind your knees, maybe those pillows if you were using them, or you can extend your legs long. Lots of options for Savasana, okay, with your legs. Now everyone, take a moment and just tuck your shoulder blades a little bit down and closer together across your back so you feel that gentle lift of your heart towards the ceiling. Now feel all the places where your bones and muscles touch the ground, okay? So maybe start with the heels, calves, the backs of your legs, your hip space, your glutes. Where in your spine, those shoulder blades you just tucked under you. Are there bony parts in your elbows, your arms, your wrists, your knuckles? What's touching the ground? And what about your head? Take a full inhale. Sink down even more. Take up space. Shavasana. This shape is the most important shape of your practice, so if you have the time today, please stay right where you are. You are in your own home. If there's nothing calling you out, please feel no need to move. If you are ready to move on with your day, you can bring tiny movements into your fingers and your toes. Let that movement travel through your hands, feet, wrists, ankles. Take all the time you need. Gently rock your head from side to side on the ground under you, massaging your occipital bone. And take a good morning stretch. Inhale everything, toes reach away from your fingers. Let it go. Roll over onto either side, coming into a fetal position. It's just a transition, but maybe you want to stay here for a little bit longer. Feel free to do so. Otherwise, you can begin to press up to an easy seat. Keep your gaze soft or your eyes closed. And bring your hands together in front of your heart. And draw your heart forward towards your hands. The light in you is all that I see. Namaste, my friends.